Good morning, Minecrafters, and welcome to Snapshot Day, my dudes. It's me, Waddles. This week around, the happy gas star of the show continues to be the star of the show. Today, we've got some massive big buffs to this thing, new crafting recipes, bartering, potions, and a bow tie answer. Firmly and solidly smack that like button, and let's dive right in. Bow ties, that's a great spot to start. So in last week's snapshot, if you didn't hear about it, there was this really weird file added to the game. This can be found inside the locator bar files. Check this out, diving into last week's snapshot files, Minecraft, textures, GUI, sprites, HUD, and then here we are, locator bar dot. Inside of the files for last week's snapshot, bowtie.png. Now this is bowtie.png, we speculated, theorized on it quite a bit. We've got an answer. Well, maybe. Felix over on a blue sky. As we can see from this header right here, our wonderfully handsome bow-tied lad. Code looks great, Felix, but can you remove the check that gives 26 netherite ingots to any player spawning with the name Zelfin? And then this post dropped a little bit after the snapshot dropped last week. Yes, my earlier post was in reference to something that happened at work today. Yes, I failed to bury the evidence of it. Yes, I am ashamed. So maybe. Maybe this was just Felix goofing around inside of the files for this update, but the weird thing about this, well, the devs don't usually just put random things inside of the game and leave them there, and oddly enough, bowtie.png still exists inside of this week's snapshot. Maybe this is an instance of the Java devs waiting for the Bedrock devs to catch up, then it'll be implemented. Maybe it's a little Easter egg, maybe it has a future use, or maybe it's just bloatware. Either way, at least for now, when it comes to our bowtie mystery, that's about all we can say. Now this is weird, because when the devs debuted the Happy Ghast update at Minecraft Live, they clarified right after the show that don't worry, we're just getting started. Here we are a month and a half later, and I guess we're still just getting started, guys. Don't get me wrong, we love a good detailed polished mob, but I'm starting to fear that this drop is literally the Happy Ghast. With an alleged release date in June at some point, I still hold out hope for this update though, and maybe more is coming soon. Inside of this week's snapshot, some interesting new entity data. Added home position and home radius fields to all mobs. Mobs with a set home position will limit their pathfinding and stay within the indicated area. Some mobs, like bats, slimes, magma cubes, and phantoms and ender dragons, might ignore it. Well, alright, so this is really interesting. Basically here, let's say we had a cow. If I interacted with this cow with a lead, well then its home position is officially declared to be the block that it is currently standing on right over there. After that, if I go ahead and let you off of the lead, well, you now have an updated home position of that block where the lead was last interacted with, so theoretically, you shouldn't wander as far away from this spot right here. This change is one of those changes that will require further in-depth testing from yours truly after the snapshot. But if this actually behaves like they're saying it behaves, theoretically, this could mean free-range mob farms, pens. Well, we're in a brand new era with mobs feeling more free and alive than ever before. That's crazy. Also, real quick, I want to send a big shout out to the bat. I'm so proud of it. After all of these years, it's so determined to be completely and utterly pointless. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's still done it. It doesn't even respect home positions or anything. I love how useless this thing is. Oh, man, but speaking of leads, a gigantic development in this week's snapshot. So this update, the second half of it, I guess, if you will, leads, the devs have realized that they're a little bit tricky to get, so they made it easy. Climb ball no more. Inside of the crafting table with some string, I can place these things down in the table and I don't know the formation. I can place these down on the table, something like that, and no longer do I need a slime ball. I think previously, maybe the recipe had like a slime ball in it or something, but no, now it's just all string. 5 string condenses down into 2 leads. How does it work? I have no clue. But look, Mojang, while we're at it, if leads and ghasts are the only things in this update, why don't we go ahead and make it so we could actually leash not a fence to another fence instead of needing to hide chickens under the ground? That could make such a cool aesthetic update. This is a quick midway reminder to tap like and subscribe. Please and thank you. Now today's snapshot is shockingly kind of minuscule here. If I were to zoom out pretty quickly, we can see like the entire changelog. It's weird. One of the more low-key changes in this week's snapshot has to do with mobs and the fishing rod of all things. So, if I had a mob attached to a fishing rod line here, this line and the mob, they should behave a little bit more high quality now. But hold on a minute. Is this the new sound? No, not that one. This one. Wait, no, never mind. Maybe not. Yeah, to me, though, it totally looks like they made this line look a little bit thicker or darker or something. That feels like it looks really, really different here. Still wishing they would come back around and update this system. Sprinting and then entering a boat would sometimes cause the boat to glitch downwards, like straight up through a block. Now that will no longer ever never happen. Sus sand. There is one type of sus sand in the game, but in the game files, it seems like they left a spot for red sus sand. Now, of course, looking back in time, jumping to the future, as we know, red sus sand was never added to the game, but this is interesting with the values here. It's like the second one was totally meant to be red sus sand, but I guess they just didn't have a use or need for it, so they didn't put it there. They have now removed this extra sand tag from the game. In the world of technical schmechnical changes, Unifont, they've updated Unifont to 16.0.3, whatever number that is. Well, it's 16.0.3. So this basically has to do with Unifont glyphs for private use areas. It's all technical stuff that goes down behind the scenes, but maybe you care about it. I don't know. And I think if you do, that classifies you officially as an empath. So, hey, that's pretty nice. While we're at it, another technical thing that has gone down here, UI sprites, having to do with the locator bar. No changes to the bar really this week, but we do have a new way of animating the locator bar up and down arrow within the files. Tags. I don't know if this is... Nope, it's not going to work here, but followable friendly mobs. It's one of the tags. Now, in this week's snapshot, the Happy Gas will have the followable friendly tag. I guess you can't really see it here. What this means in the greater grand scheme of things, I'm not too sure. Maybe one of you that is far smarter than me can tell me all about it down below. Happy Gas, Happy Gas. We have a secret version of the Happy Gas. Are you here? You are not here. The texture doesn't pop up around its head. It totally should. You see, when I put a harness on the Happy Gas, we get this cool bottom part, and we've talked about this for a couple of weeks now, but it's still missing from the game. Oh, so Minecraft's most stressed, depressed block of all time. This week, a gigantic change to this thing. Well, actually, a couple. Sliding into the crafting table right here. Previously, if I wanted to craft myself a Happy Gas, or dried gas, whatever. If I wanted to craft one of these things, the recipe was something like this. No longer does that work. Instead, we will need soul soil. No. Instead, we will need soul sand for this recipe. Funnily enough, this might actually make this recipe a little bit even easier now. This crafting recipe right here is so similar to how it was before, but I guess at least logistically speaking, it maybe makes a little bit more sense. Like, this is meant to be a block made out of compressed souls or whatever, right? Maybe we're decompressing the souls or whatever into the dried gas right there. I guess logistically that makes more sense. Probably not many bones inside of a Happy Gas. What do I know? I mean, I'm a licensed scientist and all, but to me, these things have always given me sky jellyfish. But inside of this week's snapshot, that's not the only way to get the dried gas now. Over to the nether, our big bad friends, enemies, frenemies, I don't know, the piglin. If I were to do a little bit of bartering with the piglins now inside of this snapshot, well, from time to time, I don't know how common it's gonna be, but from time to time, don't throw it in the lava, yeah. Piglin bartering has actually gotten a little bit better, because now these piglins will actually be able to barter the dried gas right over to you. Let's just try it out for a little bit of time, see how many tries it takes for us to get lucky. Please, somebody, dried gas. No, give me the dried gas. You know, I always forget about how actually overpowered piglin bartering is. The stuff is so good, especially if you have so much extra gold. Right, fine, I'll hold your gas, fine. Sooner or later, you have to give it to me, right? Hey, so after testing this stuff for a little bit of time here, I've done trade on trade with these things, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be very common here. We'll finish off one full stack of gold and see if we can get even one single dried gas. No, enchantments at school. I don't think a single dried gas from a full stack of gold. So yeah, maybe it's just easier to go up into the nether and find this thing yourself, or craft it with that really easy recipe. Potions. So do you guys remember a couple of weeks ago that strange little error with the potions in the snapshot? I talked about maybe some kind of change coming soon. Well, now we have it. So I want to kick everything off with a little bit of an apology. When it comes to the Happy Gas and potion effects, there was quite a bit of misinformation going around. Basically, the rumor was that Happy Gas were not affected by potions, but that wasn't the case. Essentially, if you were to throw a potion at the bottom of a Happy Gas, like from underneath, the potion effect would work. So now, in this week's snapshot as part of the potion update, well, we can now throw potions at the head of the Happy Gas, like on top of it, and it will actually work. Invisible Buddy. Now, this little move right here is going to work with, I think, just about every potion in the game, which leads to some very, very big things. But we also have a change as to how splash potions are actually working here. It's super technical. So with this change here, the potion update, let's say I had my target block right there, and then I had the block that I am throwing the potion off of. Well, the strength of the effect that I will get from this potion, of course, if I am close enough here, is going to be dependent upon how far away I actually was from that potion, wherever it landed. So in our hard code language from the changelog here, Splash Potion's distance to affected entities now depends on the closest distance between an entity hitbox and the Splash Potion hitbox where it landed. So here's a big one here. Let's say I had a group of entities right here, and then I had a speed potion, and I was going to throw the speed potion at this group of entities. Because they are all so close, they are all going to get the speed effect. But because the speed potion specifically hit the sheep right there, it's going to have speed for a little bit longer than, say, the cows and the piglin. It's a small change in the calculations of where potions are landing and the effects and how they're working. I wonder if this is a hint at something more soon. After all, I mean, I always go back to it, they made it possible to individualize potion textures in the last update, and they did nothing with it, so maybe, please, that could happen in the next snapshot? Please? So, that's it. That's all for this week's snapshot. On a more serious note, I'm sorry that I haven't been streaming as much recently. Some stuff has been going down IRL, so hopefully I'll be able to get back at that soon. Anyway, that's it for today. Smash a like, subscribe, thank you for watching. It's been me, Waddles, and I'll see you tomorrow.